All right, before we send you guys home, we got to look ahead at the primetime matchups. And if you're an Aqib Talib fan, you're going to have a lot of fun watching his two former teams go head-to-head, or try to have fun at least. We've seen COVID-19 really have an impact on the league, and we saw that again on Wednesday. Stephen Gilmore, one of the top defensive backs in the league, and obviously for the New England Patriots, has been diagnosed with COVID-19. Obviously, we wish him and anybody who's impacted by that well. But let's talk about the football side. How do you think Bill Belichick is handling this in that New England Patriots locker room, especially with Cam Newton also getting diagnosed with COVID-19 just last week as well?
Yeah, I bet Bill got somebody in charge of, the setup and the test. He got somebody who do their job, and I guarantee you Bill is just letting them do their job, man. He trying to keep it to a minimum around there. He trying to focus them on football. We got a game coming up. If the game is going to be played, Bill going to go throughout the whole week like we playing this game. You know what I'm saying? So I know that's what he going to do. He going to make them focus on football.
The hardest thing must be, and I'm sure you've been talking to guys, it's like, yeah, you go to practice, yeah, you go to the game, but there's so many, because they're not in the bubble, It really is the A to the B to the C, gym, home facility, and if you take that risk going to that C location, whatever that might be, that's where things start to trickle out. What have guys been telling you about just like the restrictions that they have to work under and how hard that might be to keep it? Because they also have families too that want to be
that's what I'm
going
saying.
out and about.
So that C is what you're talking about is that's like a small portion of it. You know what I'm saying? Because you still got a wife who got to go to the grocery store, who got to go get her nails done, and she got her C that she go to. Then your kids got to go to school. I mean, maybe they play sports, man. So it's tough, man. It's tough. Not if you're not in the bubble, it's almost impossible to stop somebody from getting it. You know what I'm saying? And then it take 2 days, 3 days for you got it. So 2-3 days you done been around people, and I don't know, man. I'm surprised it took till week 5 before we had this problem. Honestly, man, I thought it was gonna be an immediate problem, but it made it to week 5 with 3 teams. So we on pace to week 10 had 6 teams. Week 15 had 9 teams dealing with it. So I mean, it's less than what I expected.
Yeah, it's been crazy, and we're starting to hear talk about a potential week 18 because some of these teams might have to pass
Make
on
up
playing
a game,
games.
right?
Yeah, and there's no owner that's going to sign up for a forfeit.
Right.
That's just not going to happen. That's not going to happen. And if there's a week 18, and that plays a factor in fantasy football matchups, there's going to be a lot of people mad. Obviously, there's more important issues than that, but how that might impact fantasy football would be nuts.
Look, the Titans might miss another game this week, so what is going to be a week 19, or are they going to take their bye week, or it's going to get crazy, man. That's why I say, hey, you spend that money, you get that bubble, and you got all this understood. But you don't spend that money, you don't get that bubble, man. It's going to be tricky like this for 11 more weeks.
Yeah, it's out of control. I could only imagine that they have to go to the bubble when it's time for the playoffs, because you can't start postponing playoff games.
Yeah, and you can't have Gilmore and Cam Newton out for the playoffs. Nah, that's not a fair situation. You know what I'm saying? So they got to be working on some type of bubble situation, at least for the playoffs. Officially week 5. You know what that means, Harrison? 2 of my former teams, they still feel like my teams. 2 of my former teams is facing off. And it ain't no better way to get in on that action than, get on DraftKings Sportsbook. Lock in.
We do have to discuss that. I wonder who you want to retire as an official team. But maybe we'll save that for another episode. That's another episode. DraftKings Sportsbook is giving away all new users a chance to turn $1 into $100 when they bet on any team. It's an offer that's really hard to pass up.
Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code BOOTH21 when you sign up to get this can't-miss offer.
That can't-miss offer? Pick any team during Week 5, bet $1 on them, and win $100 if they win. That's $1 for $100 when you use the promo code BOOTH21 during sign-up for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. You must be 21 or older, Colorado only. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. Now back to the show. As of now, Sunday Night Football is happening, thankfully, and it's an interesting matchup. You're going to put Russell Wilson, who's probably everybody's MVP favorite at the time. They're 4-0 against the spread. They're going against the Vikings, who are getting 7. It's a 57.5 over-under. Again, so Vikings are getting 7, over-under at 57.5. How do you think this plays out?
Man, everything says it's gonna be over 57. That's why it's the highest over under of the week. But Seattle been giving up a bunch of passing yards, bunch of passing stats, period. And Seattle offense been lighting it on fire. So it say it's gonna be a 35 to 28 type of game. That's what the numbers say. But I don't know. I just like it. I like Seattle to really come out and put some work in. Where is the game at, Harrison?
The game's being played in Seattle, which used to be the home of the 12th band, but obviously that's not the case now.
Not the case no more. But all right, so in Seattle, man, I like them. I like Seattle to get up to that 30. I like Minnesota to take that trip. I like them to, that's a West Coast trip. So I like them to take that trip, be a little sluggish, man, get up about 17, 20 points up, man, and I think it'd be about 50 points total. But I do like Seattle to cover that 7.5 points.
So Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Chris Carson, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook, and Justin Jefferson. Those are like the 6 primetime skill players that people have on their fantasy rosters. Which one has the best fantasy day out of all those? I'll go through them one more time. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Chris Carson, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson.
It's a primetime game. Lockett had 3 touchdowns last time, right?
Well, he had 3 touch. He went ghost last week against the Dolphins.
He went ghost.
It was David Moore who ended up getting a lot of receptions.
It was David Moore.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it's how Russell do. Russell just rotate that thing, man. So it's DK turn. DK Turner had 2 touchdowns, 90 plus yards, and Minnesota not really stopping nobody right now. So man, let's go DK. DK the one gonna have the day.
Who would have thought that that Minnesota Vikings secondary would be so poor? I mean, Harrison Smith is back there. I know he got ejected from their last game against the Texans, and I know Xavier Rhodes left, but Xavier Rhodes, at least what he put on tape last year, people were encouraged by it, but they lost him and they went to a new low, at least so far. Putting a lot of pressure on Kirk Cousins to be a throwing quarterback.
Yeah, I didn't think they secondary. I didn't think their secondary would be that bad. I didn't think they'd be bad as they is, but I thought they'd play. I think they'd pick it up, man. They have veteran group. I think they'd pick it up a little bit as the season go on.
Speaking of which, and picking it up, we'll have to see the injury report because last week the Saints were out. Michael Thomas, which has been for a while, but they were also out. Marshawn Lattimore and Janoris Jenkins, and they still pulled off the win in Detroit, even though Matthew Stafford threw for 3 touchdowns. Shout out to you if you played him. So let's go ahead and look at this Monday Night Football matchup. We talked to Emmanuel Sanders already about it, but let's go ahead and get your pick here. Chargers at the New Orleans Saints. It's in New Orleans, as I just alluded to. Chargers are getting 7.5 over under 51 points.
I like this to be another about a 10-point win. I don't like it to be no nail biter or nothing like that. I like it to be pretty comfortable win for New Orleans. I like them to cover the 7.5. 51. I like it to go over, man. I like them guys to do, come out and drop by 35 again, and the Chargers will give you 20. They'll give you 17, 20. So I like the New Orleans score to be up there. So I like it to go over that 51.
Yeah, how the usual thinking goes when Drew Brees is at home.
Drew Brees at the crib, baby. Yes, sir. They run it up.
We'll have to see what happens.
He feeling himself. You know what I'm saying? Coming off last week, man, 5 straight tubs. He really got clicking. He finding that rhythm back, that timing is coming back.
Yeah, going to be interesting, too, if Michael Thomas ends up playing, because we know what's happening right now with that Chargers secondary. But I will say this. I'm low-key excited to watch Justin Herbert again.
Yeah, man.
Against Marshawn Lattimore, potentially, and Janoris Jenkins in that backfield.
And then, it's a bunch of man coverage, so it's gonna be, it's quarterbacks could be at their best, man. They know they get man coverage. You find you a matchup, man. You throw it to that guy. I'm excited to watch him too.
Ooh, speaking of which, all right. So let's play this game and then let's go home. I'm going to name you the key fantasy football players for both teams. Keenan Allen, Hunter Henry. We don't know what's going to happen with Mike Williams. I know he's been out recently. Joshua Kelly, Justin Jackson. And then on the New Orleans side, if he plays, Mike Thomas, Alvin Kamara, Jared Cook, Emmanuel Sanders, and Traquan Smith. I just gave you 9 guys who all have the potential, talented enough to have a good game. Best fantasy football performer out of those 9 before we go home. Keenan Allen, Hunter Henry, Joshua Kelly, Justin Jackson, Mike Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, Jared Cook, Alvin Kamara, and you can even throw in Latavius if you want to as well.
Kamara going to win the day. Kamara going to win the day. They going to run the ball. They going to run it straight like they've been doing. And then in the past game, man, the Chargers play that heavy cover 3. They drop. It's like a deeper cover 3 too. So Drew Brees, they gonna have some plays already set up to throw it to Kamara real quick and let him run after the catch. So he gonna get some catches this week. He gonna get some rushes this week, man. He gonna get in the zone this week. Kamara definitely gonna win the day.
Okay. So real quick, is Alvin Kamara on your fantasy team?
Nah, he not.
Who's your best player on your fantasy team?
Best player on my fantasy team is Russell Wilson.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that helps.
Russ go ham for me every week, man. I love watching him.
Yeah.
Let's go, Russ.
Who's your like running back?
My running back, I started off with Mustard. He hurt. Malcolm Brown. I got my Rams running backs. I got Malcolm Brown. I got Henderson. But I got Mustard, McKinnon, Brown.
You got the whole running back by committee.
Look, I got the whole everybody by committee. So I just roll the dice and play 2 of them guys, man, and see what they do.
Hey, you ever think about hitting up Coach Shanahan, or you ever think about hitting up anybody in general? Like, hey, listen, dog.
Hey, who playing? Hey, who gonna get the toast this week, man?
Hey, you got the roll. Hey, don't act like you got the Rolodex for nothing now. Like you got to put that Rolodex to use.
I wouldn't disrespect them like that, man. I respect the game too much, Harrison. You know what I'm saying? To call them talking about who playing for some fantasy. You know what I'm saying?
I feel it.
I just guess. I just roll the dice myself and guess.
I ain't mad at it. But that's why they tune in, to get the fantasy football advice. Good luck in week 5 to everybody who's playing fantasy football. And for the football players who are listening, or the football media people that listen, I hope you guys get to play or watch or cover. Who knows? It's been a crazy-ass time.
Right.
Any parting words, Aqib?
Subscribe, rate, and review, man. Y'all stay safe out here, man. COVID ain't done yet, man. It's still upon us, man. Wash your hands, sanitize, man. Wear a mask. Be safe out here.